jurors in this case. 12 of you have been chosen to perform this duty. In the envelope, you'll find 2 ballots, one marked guilty, the other not guilty. At the end of this trial, please hand the ballots to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are the jurors who will try this case. At its close, you will be asked to vote upon your verdict. I instruct you to listen to the testimony carefully and to pronounce your judgment to the best of your ability and integrity. You are to determine if the defendant is guilty or not guilty, and her fate rests in your hands. The district attorney may proceed. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, on the night of January 16th, near midnight, while the lights of New York blazed in electric dawn over the festive crowds below, the body of a man came hurtling through space and crashed a disfigured mess at the foot of the Faulkner building. That body had been Sweden's great financier, Bjorn Faulkner. He fell 50 stories from his luxurious penthouse, a suicide, we were told, a great man unwilling to bend before his imminent ruin. A man who found the fall from a skyscraper shorter and easier than a descent from his tottering throne of the world's financial dictator. Only a few months ago, behind every big transaction of gold in the world stood that well-known figure. Young, tall, with an arrogant smile, with kingdoms and nations in the palm of one hand, and wit in the other. If gold is the world's lifeblood, then Bjorn Faulkner, holding all its dark, hidden arteries, regulating its ebb and flow, its every pulsation, is the heart of the world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the world has just had a heart attack. And like most attacks, it was rather sudden. No one suspected the gigantic swindle that lay at the foundation of the Faulkner enterprises. A few days after his death, the earth shook from the crash of his business. Thousands of investors were stricken with the paralysis which follows an attack when that monstrous heart stopped beating. Bjorn Faulkner had had a hard struggle facing the world, but he had a much harder struggle to face in his heart, a struggle which this trial will have to uncover. 2 women ruled his life, and death. Here is one of them, ladies and gentlemen. Karen Andre, Faulkner's efficient secretary and notorious mistress. But 6 months ago, Faulkner came to America to get a loan and save his fortune. Fate sent him a means to save his own heart in the person of the lovely young girl who is now his widow, Nancy Lee Faulkner, only daughter of John Graham Whitfield, a great philanthropist. Faulkner thought he had found salvation and a new life in the virtuous innocence of his young bride. And the best proof of it is that 2 weeks after his wedding, he dismissed his secretary, Karen Andre. He was through with her. But, ladies and gentlemen, one is not easily through with a woman like Karen Andre. We can only guess what hatred and revenge smoldered in her heart, but they leaped into flame on the night of January 16th. Bjorn Faulkner did not kill himself. He was murdered. Murdered by the very delicate and capable hands which you see here before you. The hands that helped to raise Bjorn Faulkner high over the world. The hands that threw him down from his greater heights to crash into a pavement cold as this woman's heart. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we intend to prove. Our first witness will be Dr. Kirkland.
Dr. Kirkland. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And you state your name.
Thomas Kirkland,
What is your occupation?
medical examiner, discount.
In the course of your duty, what were you called upon to do on the night of January 16th?
I was called
leaves home on Long Island wearing formal dress suit. Drives car himself, alone. Special notation. Unusual speed all the way to New York.
Where does Mr. Faulkner go?
He drives over to the Faulkner building. It is now 7:57 p.m. All offices are closed. I wait outside in my car. 9:35 p.m. Mr. Faulkner comes out with Miss Andre. Miss Andre is dressed formally. Special notation. Miss Andre is wearing a corsage of unusual proportions. They drive away.
Where do they go?
No one is perfect in this world.
What do you mean?
I mean, I lost track of them. Due to Mr. Faulkner's speed and to an accident.
What accident?
My left fender crashing into a truck. Damages for which fender charged to Mrs. Faulkner.
What did you do when you lost track?
I went back to the Faulkner building and I waited.
When did they return?
10:35 p.m. exactly. A gray car follows them. Mr. Faulkner gets out and helps Miss Andre. While she rings the bell, he opens the door of the gray car. A tall gentleman in formal clothes steps out, and together they help out a third gentleman. The latter wearing a dark gray sports coat. Special notation. The aforementioned gentleman shows signs of inebriation. They all go into the Faulkner building.
Then what did you do?
I got out of my car and I went up to Gary's Grill, across the street from the Faulkner building. I must explain that I allow myself time to take nourishment every 4 hours while on duty. And 4 hours had elapsed since I left Long Island. I go out, and I sit by the window, and I watch the Faulkner store.
What did you observe?
Well, nothing for 15 minutes. Then the man in the gray coat comes out and he starts the car. The gray car. Obviously he's in a hurry. He drives away, south.
Did you see the other stranger leaving that night?
Yes, 10 minutes later. He gets in the car which stands at the curb. I don't know how it got there, but there it is. For he seems to have the key. He gets in and he drives away, south.
What did you do after they left?
Well, I wait. Mr. Faulkner is now alone in the penthouse with Miss Andre. I'm curious, professionally. Decided to do some closer investigating. Had a special observation post. Had used it before.
And where is that?
Atop the Skytop nightclub. Roof of the Brooks building. Across from the Faulkners is an open gallery off the dance floor. You go out and you can see the Faulkners' penthouse is clear the palm of your hand. I go out, I look, and I yell.
And what do you see?
No lights. Karen Andre's gown shimmering in the moonlight. She's hoisting a man's body up on the parapet. A man in evening clothes. Faulkner. He's unconscious. No resistance. She pushes him with all her strength. He goes over the parapet down into space.
And what did you do?
I ran out the dining room and yelled about what I'd seen. The crowd follows me down to the Faulkner building. We see the bloody mess on the pavement. And Karen Andre sobbing over it. Fit to move a first night audience.
Did you speak to her?
No. The police arrived and I told them what I'd seen, as I've told you here.
Or witness?
Can you kindly tell us, Mr. Van Fleet, when did you start in the employ of Mrs. Faulkner?
October 13th last.
And can you tell us the date of Mr. and Mrs. Faulkner's wedding?
October 12th, the day before.
Exactly, just the day before? In other words, Mrs. Faulkner hired you to spy on her husband the day after their wedding?
So it seems.
What were Mrs. Faulkner's instructions to you when you were hired?
To watch Mr. Faulkner and report it in detail.
Any special attention to Miss Andre?
Not specified.
Had Faulkner been calling on Miss Andre after his marriage?
Yes, frequently.
In the daytime?
Seldom.
And did you report this to Mrs. Faulkner?
I did.
What was her reaction to these reports?
Mrs. Faulkner is a lady, and as such, she has no reactions.
Well, did she seem worried?
Not that I noticed. Mr. Faulkner is the most devoted
say you saw Faulkner, or Miss Andre pushing Faulkner off the roof, and it was some distance away in the darkness, and you were drunk. Well, we'll just say you had a couple of drinks.
The drinks had nothing to do with it.
Now, are you quite certain that she was pushing him? Isn't it possible she was struggling with him?
That's a funny way of struggling. If I was struggling with a man, I wouldn't be hoisting him up by his... I wouldn't be hoisting him up by me.
Mr. Van Fleet, what were Mrs. Faulkner's instructions to you before you came here to testify today?
I received no instructions of any kind. And may I inform you that if Mrs. Faulkner were here to do so, she would, but she isn't. Her father is taking her away to California to rest her shattered nerves.
Well, can you tell us, Mr. Van Fleet, do you think Mr. Faulkner's suicide is very flattering to Mrs. Faulkner?
We object. Sustained.
Mr. Van Fleet, please tell us, how much would a witness to Mr. Faulkner's murder be worth to Mrs.
We
Faulkner?
object, Your Honor. Objection sustained.
I may inform Mr. Stevens that he may be sued for making insinuations such as these.
I made no insinuation, Mr. Van Fleet. I merely asked a question in a general way.
And may I inform you, in a general way, that perjury is not part of the private investigator's duties.
No special notations to the rule?
None.
Thank you, that's all.
Not quite. I want you to ask him 2 more questions, Steve.
Certainly, what are they? What kind of a car do you drive, Mr. Van Fleet?
A brown two-door Buick sedan. Last year's model. Old but serviceable.
Do you see anyone following the gentleman in the gray coat when he drove away, Mr. Van Fleet?
I was not aware of anything. The traffic was heavy. You understand.
That's all.
Inspector Sweeney.
Inspector Sweeney? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Your name? Elmer Sweeney. Your occupation? Inspector of Police. On the night of January 16th, were you called upon to investigate Jordan Faulkner's death?
Yes, sir. I was one of the first officers to reach the spot.
Did you question Miss Andre?
Not right away. Before I had a chance to do anything, that fellow Van Fleet, he came rushing up to me. He started yelling and had seen Karen Andre throw Faulkner off the roof.
How did Miss Andre react to this?
She was stunned. She stood there, her eyes, they're wide, hit the first, and then crossed my heart started. She started laughing. I thought she went crazy.
What did you do?
I ordered her, held her questioning, and we took her up in the
Did you find anything unusual?
Unusual? Yes, sir. The bedroom.
What did you find in the bedroom?
Nightgown, sir. Lace nightgown. Just about made of thin air. And there was a crystal bathtub in the bathroom, and we turned the shower on, and the water was perfumed.
You misunderstood my question, Inspector. Wasn't referring to the aesthetic values of the penthouse. What I asked is, did you find anything unusual that could be connected with Jordan Faulkner's death?
Yes, sir, in the living room.
What did you find in the living room?
There was a letter on a table. It was sealed and addressed said, to whomsoever finds it first.
Is this the letter?
Yes, sir.
Would you kindly read it to the jury?
If any future historian wants to record my last advice to humanity, I'll say that I found only 2 enjoyable things on this earth whose every door was open to me. My whip over the world and Karen Andre. To those who can use the advice, it is worth what it has cost mankind. Jordan Faulkner.
Submitted as evidence.
Accepted. Mark as Exhibit A, please.
Did you question Miss Andre about this letter?
Yes, sir, I did. She said Faulkner wrote the letter, placed it on the table, and ordered her not to touch it. Then he went out in the roof garden. She struggled with him when she found what he was going to do, but she couldn't stop him.
Did you ask her who had been with them that night?
Yes, sir, I did. She said 2 gentlemen had. They were friends of Faulkner's and she had never seen them before. He had picked them up that evening in a nightclub and brought them along. She said their names were Jerry White and Dick Saunders.
Did you try to find any gentlemen by these names among Mr. Faulkner's acquaintances?
Of course we did. We found nobody had ever heard of them.
And Miss Andre told you, as she did at the inquest, that she had never seen either of these 2 men before.
Yes, sir.
Was she very emphatic about that?
Yes, sir, very.
That's all.
Miss Andre told you that she had struggled with Faulkner in order to
should have objected many years ago.
Such a line of testimony is outrageous.
These are facts pertaining to the vital
Lads, gentlemen, lads, I'll ask the witness to word her testimony more carefully.
Sin is sin, any name you call it, Judge.
Mrs. Swenson, can you give us an instance when Miss Andre's conduct was detrimental to Mr. Faulkner in other ways than moral?
I do so. You try count up all money he based on that woman.
Can you tell us an instance of Mr. Faulkner's extravagance?
I tell you, he had a platinum gown made for her. Yeah, I said platinum. Fine mesh, fine and soft as silk. She wore it on her naked body. He would make a fire in the fireplace, and he'd the dress and this is the gun. It's cool. You could see her body in silver sheen, and it'd been more decent if she had been naked. She asked to put it on as hot as she could stand it, and if it burned her shapeless skin, she laughed like the pagan that she is, and he kissed the burned vials like I
Your Honor, we object. This testimony is irrelevant and only serves to prejudice the jury against Miss Andre.
Let her talk, Stephen. Perhaps it may prejudice the jury in my favor.
Are you ruling, Your Honor?
Objection is overruled. Proceed.
Mr. Stevens has my sympathy. His client is not an easy one to handle. Miss Swenson, did you observe Mr. Faulkner's attitude towards marriage?
He was happy for the first time in his life. He was happy like Jesus man was found right fraud.
Did you know of anything that made him worry in those days that could bring him to suicide eventually?
No, nothing.
Now, Miss Swenson, did you observe Miss Andre's attitude toward Mr. Faulkner's marriage?
She stopped like stone statues. She just...
Mrs. Faulkner, Your Honor, may I have a word, please?
I understand you wanted to call me as a witness.
Well, I did, but I heard you were in California.
I escaped.
You escaped.
Father was concerned over my health. He wouldn't allow me to come back. I wanted to do my duty towards the memory of my husband. And actually disclose on this account.
I can only express my deepest appreciation, Mrs. Faulkner. You will kindly take a seat. We will be ready for you in just a little while. You were telling us about Miss Andre's attitude toward Mr. Faulkner's marriage, Miss Swenson.
I said she keeps silent. But I hear her crying one night after marriage. Crying, sobbing, and that's for the first known time in her life.
Did she seem to suffer much?
Suffer? No, not her. One man more or less makes no much difference to her. Seen her and faces like Faulkner on the night of his wedding.
Faithful. With whom?
I don't know the man. I seen him first on the night of their Faulkner's wedding.
Just a minute, Miss Benson. You still have to have a little talk with me.
For what? I say all I know.
Well, you may know the answers to a few more questions. Now, you said that you saw that stranger kissing Miss Andre.
Yeah, I did.
And it was dark that night when you saw him for the first time?
Yeah, it was dark.
And on the night of January 16th, when you were so ingeniously spying on your mistress, you said that you saw her come in with Mr. Faulkner and you hurried to depart in order not to be caught? Am I correct?
You have a good memory.
You just had a swift glance at the two gentlemen with me.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us, what did the drunken gentleman look like?
How can I? No time to notice face. Too dark at door.
So it was too dark, and you were in a hurry, and yet you're able to identify a man that you've seen just once before.
Let me tell you, mister, I am under oath, as you say. An unreligious woman, and I respect oath. I said but say man, I say it again.
Thank you, that's all.
Mrs. Faulkner. tell you of his relations with Miss Andre?
No, not then. But he did 2 weeks after our wedding. He came to me and he said, "Dearest, there is a woman. There was a woman. And I feel I must tell you about her." And I said, "I know it. You don't have to say a word if you'd rather not."
And what did Mr. Faulkner tell you?
He said, "Karen Andre is the cause and symbol of my darkest times. I am going to dismiss her."
What did you answer?
I said that I understood him and that he was right, but I said we must not be cruel. Perhaps you can find another position for Miss Andre. He said that he would provide for her financially, but that he never wanted to see her again.
He therefore dismissed Miss Andre voluntarily of his own choice.
Mr. Flint, there are 2 kinds of women in this world, and my kind is never jealous of the other.
Now, Mrs. Faulkner, what can you tell us about the state of your husband's business after your marriage?
I'm afraid I don't understand much about business. I do know that my father made a loan, a very large loan, to my husband.
Can you tell us whether you think it possible that your husband had any reason whatsoever to commit suicide?
I think it totally impossible.
Did he ever speak of his plans for the future?
We used to dream of the future together, even on the evening before his death. We were sitting by the fire in his study, talking about the years ahead. We knew that we would not be wealthy for a very long time, if ever, but we didn't care about that. We had renounced material concerns with all their consequences: pride, selfishness, ambition, the desire to rise above our fellow man. We wanted to devote our lives to spiritual values. We were planning to leave the city, to become part of some modest community, to be like everyone else.
And this was on the night of January 15th, the day before your husband's death? What did Mr. Faulkner do on the day of January 16th?
Spent it in town on business as usual. Came home late in the afternoon. He said that he had to attend a business banquet in New York that night, so he did not have dinner at home. Left at about 6 o'clock.
What banquet was Mr. Faulkner supposed to attend?
He did not tell me, and I didn't ask. I made it a point never to
explain the fact that Bjorn Faulkner lied to you about this business banquet on the night of January 16th and went directly to Miss Andre's house.
Well, if I could explain that, Mr. Stevens, I might save you the bother of this trial. We would have an explanation of my husband's mysterious death. All I know is that she made him come to her house for some reason which he could not tell me, and he was found dead that night.
Mrs. Faulkner, I wanted to ask you one more question.
Yes?
I would like you to state here, under oath, that Bjorn Faulkner loved you.
Bjorn Faulkner.
That's all.
No, that's not all. Ask her one more question.
What is it, Miss Andre?
Ask her whether she loves you.
I did, Miss Andre.
Well, then how can you speak of him as you do? How can you sit there and lie about him when you can't even go back to
Emperor, why should I be questioned by the murderers of my husband?
That's all.
I'm so sorry, Mrs. Faulkner.
Gentlemen, I'm going to adjourn this court until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
One of us is lying, and we both know which one.
Number 11 of the State of New York, the Honorable Judge William Heath presiding.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. People of the state of New York versus Karen Andre.
Ready, Your Honor?
Ready, Your Honor.
District Attorney, may proceed.
Your Honor, please, the prosecution has one more witness to introduce, Mr. John Graham Whitfield.
John Graham Whitfield. Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
What is your name?
John Graham Whitfield.
What is your occupation?
I am the president of the Whitfield National Bank.
It is obvious, Mr. Whitfield, that you are well qualified to pass judgment on financial matters. Can you tell us about the state of Mr. Faulkner's business affairs at the time preceding his death?
I shall say desperate, but not hopeless. My bank had made a loan of $25 million to Mr. Faulkner in an effort to save his enterprise. Needless to say, that money is now lost.
What prompted you to make that loan?
Well, he was the husband of my daughter and my only child, and her happiness has always been paramount to me. However, my motives were not entirely personal. Realizing the countless tragedies of small investors as it crashed, I considered it my personal responsibility to make every possible effort to prevent it.
Is it conceivable that you would have made such a considerable loan to Mr. Faulkner in his enterprises had you believed it hopelessly destined to crash?
Certainly not. It was a difficult undertaking, but I had full confidence that my business knowledge would have prevented the crash had Faulkner lived.
He therefore had no reason to commit suicide as far as his business affairs were concerned.
He had every reason for remaining alive.
Now, Mr. Whitfield, can you tell us whether Mr. Faulkner was happy in his personal life and his relations with your daughter?
Mr. Flynn, I would like to say that I have always regarded the home and the family as the most important institutions in our lives. I would hope that you would believe me when I tell you how important my daughter's family happiness was to me. And she had found perfect happiness with Mr. Faulkner.
Mr. Whitfield, what was your opinion of Bjorn Faulkner?
Well, I have to admit that he had some qualities of which I did not approve. We were as different as two human beings could be. I believe in one's personal responsibility above everything. Bjorn Faulkner believed in nothing but his own pleasure.
From your knowledge of Mr. Would you say you consider it possible that Mr. Faulkner committed suicide?
I consider it absolutely impossible.
Thank you, Mr. Whitfield. That's all.
Mr. Whitfield, were you very fond of your son-in-law?
Yes,
And you never disagreed with him? You never lost your temper in a quarrel?
Mr. Stevens, I never lose my temper.
Well, if my memory serves me right, there was some trouble at the time that you made that stupendous loan to Mr. Faulkner. Wasn't there something said to the effect that you denied making that loan?
Surely a misunderstanding, I assure you. I have to admit that Mr. Faulkner did make a somewhat unethical attempt to hasten the loan, which was entirely unnecessary, because I granted it gladly for my daughter's sake.
Well, you said that your financial situation and your fortune had been badly damaged by the Faulkner crash.
Yes.
And your financial situation is rather strained at present.
Yes.
Well, then how could you afford to offer a $100,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of Gus Reagan?
Objection. What has that got to do with the case?
Your Honor, I'd like to explain this if I may.
Very well.
It's true. I did offer such a reward. Gus Reagan is a notorious criminal, and I offered that reward in hopes that he would be arrested and convicted. However, I agree with Mr. Flint. This has nothing to do with the present case.
Well, can you please tell us why you left for California in such a hurry before the beginning of this trial?
Oh, the answer is quite obvious. My daughter was crushed by this sudden tragedy, and I hastened to take her away to save her health. Perhaps even her life.
Well, you love your daughter profoundly.
Yes,
You've always made it a point that wherever you wish should be granted.
I can proudly say yes.
Whenever she or you desire anything, you don't stop at the price, do you?
We don't have
Well, then would you refuse to buy her the man she wanted?
Your Honor.
Steve.
You wouldn't stop if it took your entire fortune to break the first unbreakable man you'd ever met.
Your Honor, we object.
Sustained.
Mr. Whitfield, are you going to tell us that your money had nothing to do with Faulkner dismissing Miss Andre, that no ultimatum was delivered to him?
You're quite mistaken in your insinuations. My daughter was no more jealous of Miss Andre than she would have been of Mr. Faulkner's soiled underwear. And all men have some at one time or another, you know.
Well, I would be careful of statements such as those, Mr. Whitfield. Remember that your daughter paid for what Karen Andre got free.
What? You idiot! Do you realize who you're talking to?
Father!
That is just what I wanted to prove. Thank you, Mr. Whitfield, that's all.
Your Honor, we move that the defense counsel's outrageous remark that led to this incident be stricken from the record. The remark may go out.
Sir?
The people rest.
Move that the case be dismissed for lack of evidence.
Deny.
Exception.
Noted.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, now we cannot pass judgment on Karen Andre without passing it on Bjorn Faulkner. Now, he had put himself beyond all present standards. Whether it was above or below them is for each of us to decide personally. But I will ask you to remember that he was the man who said that he needed no justifications for his actions. He was the justification. This man who said that laws were made for the fun of breaking them. Well, if you remember that, then you will understand that this life into which he was thrown in his last few months was as impossible for him to bear as that of a tiger locked in a vegetable garden. And to escape it, he would be driven to the most desperate means, including suicide. Our first witness will be Janet Chandler.
Janet Chandler? Solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do.
Your name,
Janet Chandler,
your occupation,
handwriting expert of
signing Faulkner's name to unimportant documents at the time she was employed as his secretary. Have you compared those signatures with Faulkner's real ones?
I have.
What is your opinion of them?
I can compliment Miss Andre on her art. Difference is very slight.
From her knowledge of Mr. Faulkner, is it possible that she could have forged this letter so perfectly as to escape detection?
It is not probable, but it is possible.
Thank you. That's all.
Sigurd Youngquist.
Sigurd Youngquist. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
What is your name?
Sigurd Youngquist.
And what is your occupation?
My last job was secretary to Herr Björn Faulkner.
And how long have you held that job?
Since beginning of November, since Miss Andre left.
And what was your position before that?
Bookkeeper for Herr Faulkner,
And how long did you hold that job?
8 years.
Now, did Mr. Faulkner give you Miss Andre's position when she was dismissed?
Yeah,
Did Miss Andre instruct you in your new duties?
yeah, she did.
Well, what was her behavior at that time? Did she seem sorry or angry or resentful?
No, she was calm like always and explained everything clearly.
Did you notice any trouble between Mr. Faulkner and Miss Andre at that time?
Herr lawyer, there can be no more trouble between Herr Faulkner and Miss Andre as between you and your face in the mirror.
Well, have you ever witnessed any business conferences between Mr. Whitfield and Mr. Faulkner?
I never been present at conferences, but I seen Herr Whitfield come to our office many times. Herr Whitfield, he not like Herr Faulkner.
Well, what makes you say that?
I heard what he said one day. Herr Faulkner was desperate for money, and Herr Whitfield asked him sarcastically what he was going to do if his business crashed. Well, Herr Faulkner shrugged and said, "Like, they'll commit suicide." Herr Whitfield looked at him very strangely and coldly and said very slowly, "If you do, you will have good scholarship."
Your Honor, I would like to report this incident, which I consider a hoax, and whose purpose I would like to determine. Apparently, a man just called on the telephone and asked to speak to me immediately. Told that was impossible, he gave the following message just brought to me. Do not put Karen Andre on the stand until I get the signature.
I want to go on the stairs right away.
May I ask why?
Question me now,
I'm afraid it's impossible, Miss Andre. We have to finish our examination of Mr. Youngquist.
Hurry, hurry.
I shall ask the defendant please to refrain from any further interruption.
Where were you on the night of January 16th, Mr. Youngquist?
I was in our office in the Faulkner building. I was working. I was working late for many nights.
And what did you do when you first heard of Bjorn Faulkner's death?
I went to call Herr Whitfield. I telephoned his home in Long Island, but Bookner said he not home. Then I called his office in town, but no answer, no one there. I called many places, but I not find Herr Whitfield. Then I called his home again, and I have to tell Mrs. Faulkner that Herr Faulkner committed suicide.
And when you told her that, what were Mrs. Faulkner's first words?
She said, "For God's sake, don't give it to the newspapers."
That's all.
Just one moment, please, Miss Andre. Why such hurry? What were you expecting? Come here, Youngquist. You have been employed by Bjorn Faulkner for more than 8 years, haven't you?
Yeah,
In that time, did you know how crooked and criminal your boss's operations were?
no, I did not.
Do you know now that he was a criminal and a swindler?
No, I do not know that.
You don't, eh? And you didn't know what all those brilliant financial operations of his were?
I knew that Herr Faulkner did things that other people not allowed to do, but I never wondered and I never doubt. I know it was not wrong,
How do you know that?
because he was Herr Björn Faulkner.
And he could do no wrong.
Herr lawyer, and little people like you and me meet a man like Björn Faulkner, we take our hats off and we bow. And sometimes we take orders. But we don't ask questions.
Splendid, my dear Youngquist. Your devotion to your master is worthy of admiration. You'd do anything for him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And were you very devoted to Miss Andre as well?
Miss Andre was dear to Herr Faulkner.
Well, it's such a little matter as a few lies for your master's sake would mean nothing.
Your
to
Honor,
you.
we object.
Sustained.
I have not lied, Herr Lawyer. Herr Faulkner is dead and cannot tell me to lie. But if I had choice, I'd lie for Herr Faulkner rather than tell the truth for you.
For which admission I am more grateful than you can guess, Herr Youngquist. That's all.
Karen Andre.
Karen Andre. Gun's useless. I'm an atheist.
The witness must affirm regardless.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I affirm.
What is your name?
Karen Andre.
What was your last position?
Secretary to Your Faulkner.
And how long have you held that job?
10 years.
Please tell us about your first meeting with Bjorn Faulkner.
I entered his advertisement for a stenographer. I saw him for the first time in his office on an obscure side street in South Hall. He was alone. It was my first job. It was his first office.
How did Faulkner greet you?
He got up and didn't say a word. He just stood and looked at me. His mouth was insulting even in silence. He couldn't stand his gaze very long. I didn't know whether I wanted to kneel or slap his face. I didn't do either. I told him what I'd come for.
And did he hire you then?
He said I was too young and he didn't like me, but he threw a stenographer pad at me and told me to get down to work, but he was in a hurry. So I did.
And you worked all day.
All day. He dictated as fast, almost faster than he could talk. He didn't time to say a word. He didn't smile once, and he never took his eyes off me.
And when did you and Mr. Faulkner?
But when did he first take me? That first day I met him.
And how did that happen?
He seemed to take a delight in giving me orders. He acted as if he were cracking a whip over an animal he wanted to break. And I was afraid,
Because you didn't like that.
because I liked it. So when I finished my 8 hours, I told him I was quitting. He looked at me and didn't answer. Then he turned to me suddenly and asked me if I'd ever slept with a man before. I said, no, I hadn't. He said he'd give me $1,000 if I'd go into the inner office and take my skirt off. I said I wouldn't. He said if I didn't, he'd take me. I said, try it. He did. After a while, I picked up my clothes. But I didn't go. I stayed. I kept the job.
And you lived and you worked and you rose to success together ever since.
For 10 years. When we made our first $1 million, he took me to Vienna. We sat in a restaurant while the orchestra played Sing Gypsy. When we made $10 million, he took me to Delhi. Stood on the shore of the Ganges on the steps of an old temple where men would sacrifice to God. But when we made $25 million, he took me to New York. We hired pilots to fly a plane above the city. And the wind waved Bjorn's tail as the banner of the world faced me.
Can you tell us the extent of Mr. Faulkner's personal fortune at the very height of his success?
No, he couldn't tell you himself. He had no personal fortune. What he wanted. When he owed money to one of his companies, it was crossed off the books and debited to the accounts of several other concerns. It was very simple. We prepared all the balance sheets ourselves.
Why would a man of Bjorn Faulkner's obvious genius resort to such methods?
He wanted to build a gigantic net and build it fast. A net over the world held in his own hands. He had to draw unlimited sums of money. He had to establish credit. So he paid dividends out of his capital. Dividends much higher than we actually earned.
And when did Mr. Faulkner's business difficulties start?
Over a year ago,
What brought him to America this time?
a short-term loan of $10 million from the Whitfield National Bank was due. We could not meet it. We needed an extension. Whitfield refused it until his daughter came into the question.
How did that happen?
Bjorn No, she proposed to him.
How did that happen?
He told me about it. She took him for a drive and stopped on a lonely road. She said that they were lost, and she kidnapped him and wished to release him. He answered that the ransom she wanted was not in circulation. Then she turned to him point blank and said, "What's the use of pretending? I want you and you know it. You don't want me and I know that, but I pay for what I want and I have the price." And he asked him, "What is the price?" And she said, "The extension of a certain $10 million loan that you'll need to save your business. In order to stay out of jail as a swindler, it can only be in the custody of Mrs. Bjorn Faulkner."
That is a lie. That's a shameless lie. Why don't you tell the truth?
Silence, please. If there are any more interruptions of this kind, I want to order this courtroom cleared.
What did Mr. Faulkner answer to that, Miss Andre?
He said it would cost you an awful lot of money. She said money never meant anything to me. Then he said, "Will you always remember that this is a business deal? You're not buying any feelings. You're not to expect it." And she answered, "I don't need it. You'll have your money and I'll have you." Such was the bargain.
Was Mr. Whitfield very eager to accept that bargain?
Bjorn said he thought Whitfield would have a stroke when his daughter's decision was announced to him. But Miss Whitfield insisted. She always had her way. It was agreed that the loan would be extended and that Whitfield would give Bjorn unlimited credit.
Well, in other words, Bjorn Faulkner sold himself as his last security.
Yes, and like the others, it meant nothing to me.
And did you resent that marriage?
No, I didn't. We both faced our business as a war. We looked at this as a harvest campaign.
Why did Mr. Faulkner dismiss you 2 weeks after his wedding?
He was forced to do that. Whitfield refused to advance the money he had promised.
And what reason did he offer for this refusal?
The reason that Bjorn was keeping the mistress. It was Miss Whitfield's ultimatum. I had to be dismissed.
And did Mr. Whitfield grant the loan after you were dismissed?
No, he refused it again. He attached what he called a slight condition to it.
And what was this condition?
He wanted the controlling interest in Bjorn's enterprises.
Did Faulkner agree to that?
Bjorn said he'd rather gather all his stock certificates into one pile and strike a match.
And did Mr. Whitfield grant the loan?
No, he didn't grant it. Bjorn took it.
How did he do that?
By forging Mr. Whitfield's signature to $25 million worth of security.
How do you know that?
I helped him to do it.
And did this help Mr. Faulkner?
Only temporarily. Certain dividend payments were coming due. We could not meet them. Bjorn stretched his credit to the utmost, and there's no more to be had.
How did Faulkner take the situation?
He knew it was the end.
And what were his plans?
You don't find men like Bjorn Faulkner cringing before a bankruptcy commission. And you don't find them locked in jail.
And the alternative?
He was not afraid of the world. He defied its every law. He was going to leave it when and how.
I told you to wait for me.
Larry, stay away. Larry, be quiet. You promised to stay away.
You don't understand
Your
what
Honor, I
you're saying.
command this man not be allowed to testify.
Karen, you don't know what's happening here. You
Your
don't
Honor,
know.
this man loves me. He'll do anything to save me. He'll lie. Don't believe a word he says.
Karen, your sacrifice is useless. Bjorn Faulkner is dead.
Yeah, he does. He's dead.
Yes.
Bjorn. Dead.
Did you know this, Andre?
matter what happened, we were not to reveal the secret.
Please tell us what happened on January 16th, Miss Andre.
Bjorn came to my house that night. I'll never forget his smile when he stepped off the elevator. He was about a baby. We had dinner together. At 9:30, we went to Reagan's house. He had O'Toole's body dressed in traveling clothes. We drove back to my house. Bjorn was to be seen entering the building, so I didn't use my keys. I ran the doorbell. He was dressed formally to make it like a gay home. Reagan and Bjorn supported the bodies that were drunken friends. The night watchman opened the door and we went up in the elevator.
Then what happened?
Bjorn exchanged clothes with the corpse. Wrote the letter. And they carried the body out and lifted the wound into the parapet. Then they were gone. Bjorn was to go first and sit and watch the needle of the indicator moving down. 50 foot. And it stopped. He was gone.
Then?
Reagan was to follow him a few minutes later. They had a plane stored 2 miles outside of the city. I stayed alone for an hour. The penthouse was subsiding. I didn't want to wait out in the garden with the body, since it was supposed to be yours. I lay on the bed in my bedroom. Took Bjorn's robe and I dragged my face in it. So there wasn't a clock. There was a clock by the bed that ticked in the darkness. I waited. And an hour passed and there was a plane taking off. I got up. I tore my dress to make it look like a struggle. Then I went out to the garden, the parapet. I looked down. There were so many legs. The world seemed so small. So full. Then I threw the body over. I watched it fall. I thought all of Bjorn's troubles were with it. I didn't know it was like one too.
That's all?
I must confess, Miss Andre, that there is little left for me to do. You've done most of my work yourself. Now tell us, didn't Mr. Faulkner have a clear conception of the difference between right and wrong?
Bjorn never thought that he was right or wrong. To him it was only you can or you can't. He always could.
And yourself? Didn't you object to helping him in all those crimes?
To me it was only he wanted or he didn't.
You said Bjorn Faulkner loved you.
Yes.
Did he ever ask you to marry him?
No, what for?
Don't you know there are laws made for situations such as these?
Laws made by whom, Mr. Flint, and for whom?
Miss Andre, did your attorney warn you that anything you say here may be held against you?
I'm here to tell the truth.
You loved Bjorn Faulkner,
Yes.
such as he was.
Because he was such as he was.
Exactly, Miss Andre. Now, what would you do if a woman were to take away from you the man you worship so insanely? If she appealed to his soul instead of his animal desires, as you seem to have done so successfully? If she changed the ruthless scoundrel you loved into her own ideal of an upright man, would could if you'd wanted to.
I suppose so.
Well, Miss Andre, isn't that the explanation of Faulkner's visits to you after his marriage? He had reformed. He wanted to make a change, but you held it over his head. You could expose him and ruin his plans before he had a chance to make good for his crimes. Wasn't it fear, not love? You held him in your hands?
You're never even meaning of the word fear.
Miss Andre, who knew about the transfer of $10 million to Buenos Aires?
Only Bjorn, myself, and Reagan.
And Reagan. Now, Faulkner could have had perfectly legitimate business reasons for that transfer.
I don't know of
You
any.
mean you won't tell of any? Now, Miss Andre, Bjorn Faulkner kept you in extravagant luxury for more than 10 years. You enjoyed platinum gowns and not the little things like that. You hated to change your mode of living. You hated to see him turn his fortune over to his investors, to see him poor, didn't you?
I was to never see him poor.
No, of course not. Because you and your gangster lover were going to murder him and get the $10 million no one knew about.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection sustained.
You heard it testified that Bjorn Faulkner had no reason to commit suicide. He had no more reason to escape from the first happiness he'd ever known. But you hated him for that happiness, didn't you?
You don't understand Bjorn Faulkner.
Maybe. But let's see if I understand you correctly. You were raped by a man the first day you met him. Then you lived with him for 10 years in a brazenly illicit relationship. You defrauded thousands of investors the world over. You cultivated a friendship with a notorious gangster. You helped in a $25 million forgery. You told us all this proudly, flaunting your defiance of all decency, and you don't expect us to believe you capable of murdering.
You're wrong, Mr. Flint. I am capable of murder. For Bjorn Faulkner's sake.
That's all.
Lawrence Reagan.
Lawrence Reagan. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
What is your name?
Lawrence Reagan.
And what is your occupation?
Unemployed.
How long have you known Karen Andre?
5 months.
And where did you first meet her?
In Faulkner's office. I went there to do some business with him. Except I gave up the business because I met his secretary.
Well, how did you happen to become friendly with Miss Andre?
My first meeting wasn't exactly friendly. She wouldn't let me to see Faulkner. She said I had enough money to buy orchid, but I found that I had no business with the boss. Said I'd think it over and I'd learn. I thought it over. I had anything to the business. I thought of her. Next day I sent her a pound of orchids. You ever see how many that makes? That's how it started.
Well, did you know of Mr. Faulkner's relations with Miss Andre at that time?
I knew of it before I ever saw her. What of it? I knew it was hopeless, but I couldn't help it.
You never expected Miss Andre to share your feelings.
No.
Did you ever try and force it upon her?
You happen to know all that?
Yes, I'm afraid we did.
I kissed her. Once. 5 fours. It was the night of Faulkner's wedding. She was all alone. She was so unhappy. I was so crazy about it. She told me it was no use, and I never wanted her to know, but she knew. We never mentioned it since.
When did Miss Andre first tell you of Faulkner's planned escape?
About 2 weeks before we pulled in.
Was Lefty O'Toole one of your men?
No.
Were you connected with his murderers in any way?
No.
You actually had no definite knowledge of his planned murder?
No, I just, had a way of guessing.
Please tell us what happened on January 16th.
But all work as Karen has told me. But she knows only half the story. I know the rest.
Please tell us what happened after you left the penthouse.
I left 10 minutes after Faulkner. face looked strange. He didn't wear a hat. His clothes were all wrinkled and grease spots.
Then what happened?
I pretended he was asleep in the back seat. I watched him. He approached. He opened the door. And then he saw me. He gave a start and yelled, and then struck in the heart. His nerves must have been jittery.
Then what did you do?
I awakened with a start. I stretched. I rubbed my eyes, and I said, "Oh, it's you. Fancy such a meeting." I don't think he liked it. He looked at me and he said, "Who are you? Where'd you come from?" I said, "My name's Gus Reagan." You may have heard. I was in a little trouble and had a hideout for a while. And finding this car here was quite a convenience. He said, "Oh, that's too bad. But I'm going to have to ask you to get out. I'm in a hurry."
And did you get out?
No. I stretched and I asked, "What's your hurry?" He said, "None of your business." I smiled and explained, "Not for me. Just so happens that a certain columnist is a friend of mine. I'm sure he'll appreciate the story of a gentleman of your prominence found wandering in the wilderness at milkman time. But I'm sure he'd like the whole story."
And what did the man say?
He said nothing. He looked at me, and he took out a checkbook. I shrugged and I looked at him. And then he said, "Would $10,000 be a suitable token of appreciation to keep your mouth shut?" I said, "It'll do. Lawrence Reagan's the name." He wrote out the check. Here it is.
We offered this check in evidence.
What is this nonsense? Who was the man?
Who was the man, Mr. Reagan?
We'll let the clerk read that check to you.
Please read the check.
January 17th, paid to the order of Lawrence Reagan the amount of $10,000. Signed, John Graham Whitfield.
This is an outrage!
I demand to see that check.
We offer this check in evidence.
Objection.
The objection is overruled. Check submitted in evidence.
What did you do after you received that check, Mr. Reagan?
I put it in my pocket and thanked him. Then I drew my gun and I stuck it in his ribs and I said, "Now, you lousy bastard, where's Faulkner?" He opened his mouth like a fish choking and couldn't make a sound.
Your Honor, is this man to be allowed to make such libelous statements in public?
The witness is allowed to testify. If it proved to be perjury, he'll suffer the consequences.
What did he answer, Mr. Reagan?
First he muttered, "I don't know what you're talking about." Then I jammed the gun hard and said, "Cut it out. I'm in and out and so are you. Where'd you take it?" And he said, "You killed him. You'll never find out."
Did you get any information out of it?
Not a word. I didn't want to kill him. He said, "If you kill me, you'll expose the big suicide and Faulkner will be found." I asked him, "Is he still alive?" He said, "Go ask him." I thought, not threatened. There's no use. I let him go. Thought I could always get back at him.
Then did you try and find Faulkner?
I didn't lose a second. I rushed home and I grabbed a sandwich and an airplane. I flew to Buenos Aires. I searched. I advertised in the papers. I got no answer. No one called to the bank for Ragnar Hayes millions.
And did you try and communicate to Miss Andre about this?
No. We'd agreed not to see each other for a month. And she'd been arrested for Faulkner's murder. I laughed when I read that, but I couldn't say a word. Not to betray Faulkner if he was still alive. So I waited.
What were you waiting for?
February 16th at the Hotel Continental, Buenos Aires. I set my teeth and I waited every minute of every hour of that day. He never showed.
Then
His magnificent country house in Westchester was destroyed in an explosion just after the guests left, narrowly avoiding a wholesale slaughter. What was that, Mr. Reagan? A coincidence?
A remarkable coincidence, Mr. Flint. Just after the guests left.
Perhaps you read that when Mr. Van Dorn refused to pay.
Objection, Your Honor. Such questions are irrelevant. Sustained.
So you had no ill feelings toward Mr. Faulkner for failure of your business with him?
No.
Now, Mr. Guts, I beg your pardon, Mr. Lawrence Reagan, what would you do if somebody were to take this woman you love so much and rape her?
I'd cut his throat with a bull's saw.
Would. And you expect us to believe that you, Guts Reagan, gangster, outlaw, scum of the underworld, would step aside with a grand gesture and throw the woman you wanted into another man's arms?
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. I loved her.
You did? Well, why did you allow Faulkner to visit her after his marriage?
I had nothing to say about that.
No? You two weren't holding a blackmail plot over his head.
You got any proof of that?
Her association with you is the best proof.
Objection.
Objection sustained.
How did you and Miss Andre kill Faulkner in the penthouse that night?
Objection.
Sustained.
What happened to that other accomplice of yours, the man who played the drunk?
I can give you his exact address. Evergreen Cemetery, Whitfield Family Memorial, which is the swankiest place no lefty's ever been.
Now, let me get this clear. You claim that the man buried in Evergreen Cemetery is Lefty O'Toole, and that the man you found in the burned airplane is Bjorn Faulkner?
Yes.
What is to prove that it isn't the other way around? Supposing you did steal O'Toole's body, what's to prove that you didn't stage that fantastic thing yourself? That you didn't plant the airplane and the body in New Jersey and then appear with that wild story in a desperate attempt to save your mistress? You've heard her tell us you'd do anything for her, that you'd lie for her.
Objection.
Sustained.
Where's your real proof, Mr. Reagan?
Mr. Flint, you're a district attorney. And I know. Well, you know what I am. We both have a lot of dirty work to do. So such happens to be life. For most people. But do you think that we'll go so low that if something passes us, for which one kneels, the other no longer has eyes to see? I love her. She loved Faulkner. That's a woman.
That's all.
John Graham Whitfield. Would you object if I asked for an order to exhume the body buried at Evergreen Cemetery, Mr. Whitfield?
I have no objection. However, that body was cremated.
See.
Mr. Whitfield, where were you on the night of January 16th?
I believe I was in New York City on business that night.
And do you have any witnesses who can prove it?
Mr. Stevens, I'm not in the habit of providing myself with alibis. I've never had reason to keep track of my activities or to secure any witnesses. I don't think I would be able to find them.
Well, Mr. Whitfield, how many cars do you own?
4.
And what are they?
One of them is a black sedan, as you are obviously anxious to learn. However, I would like to state at this time that anyone, and especially anyone designated by this court, is more than welcome to inspect that car in detail for any signs of repair.
Mr. Whitfield, you just returned from California by plane?
Yes?
You flew it yourself?
Yes.
You're a licensed pilot, then?
I am, which is a matter of public record for anyone who threatened to kidnap my daughter, and I prefer to pay him off rather than take any chances with her life.
Mr. Whitfield, that check is dated January 17th. On that same date, you offered your reward for Reagan's arrest, didn't you?
Yes, certainly you realize that besides my civic responsibility, I was also extremely concerned about my daughter's safety, and I wanted immediate action.
Mr. Whitfield, your daughter and your fortune are your most cherished possessions, aren't they? Well, then what would you do to the man who stole your money and deserted your daughter for another woman?
Your Honor, we object. Sustain.
You hated Faulkner. You wanted to break him. You suspected his intention of staging a suicide. The words Mr. Youngquist heard you say prove it.
I suspected nothing of the kind.
And on January 16th, didn't you spend the day watching Faulkner?
Certainly not.
Weren't you trailing Faulkner in your black sedan? Didn't you follow him as soon as he left the penthouse that night?
Fantastic. How could I have recognized him? Supposing it were Faulkner leaving. Van Fleet, the detective, didn't recognize him.
Van Fleet wasn't watching for a trick. He had no suspicion of the plot. You had.
Mr. Stevens, how could I have had knowledge of the plot for that night, or for any night for that matter?
Didn't you have any particular information about Faulkner's activities at that time?
None.
You heard of nothing unusual that day.
Not a thing.
For instance, you did not hear that he had transferred $10 million to a bank in Buenos Aires?
I never heard of it.
My God! I killed him! I killed Peter Faulkner!
In the court.
God help her!
Court.
I helped that man and killed him!
Order.
The whole truth. So help me God. I didn't know, but I see it now. He killed Faulkner because he lied. Knew about the $10 million because I told him.
Look here, man, you can't.
That's all, Mr. Whitfield.
No question.
Please take a stand, Mr. Youngquist. Now then, you told Whitfield about that transfer?
He asked me many times about the 10 million, where it was spent. I did not know it was a secret. That day I told him about Buenos Aires. That day at noon, January 16th.
What kind of a frame-up is this?
You told Whitfield about that transfer at noon?
I did. God have pity on me. I'd give my life for Herr Faulkner. And I helped to kill him.
That's all.
It seems obvious, Herr Youngquist, that you do not believe Miss Andre guilty of the crime for which she stands accused. Now tell us, did you not testify earlier that you would lie for Bjorn Faulkner and that you were devoted to Miss Andre as well because she was dear to him?
Yeah.
Were you by chance alone with Mr. Whitfield when you told him about the $10 million?
Yeah.
It's your word against Mr. Whitfield?
Yeah.
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Are there any more witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
The defense may proceed with the closing argument.
Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are here to decide the fate of a woman. But more than one woman is on trial here. Before you render your verdict on Karen Andre, think of your verdict on Bjorn Faulkner. Now, do you believe that he was the kind of a man who would vow, renounce, repent? Well, if you do, she's guilty. But if you believe that in this sad, half-hearted world of ours, a man can still be born with life singing in his veins, a scoundrel, a swindler, a criminal, call him anything, but still, a conqueror. You believe in a strength that is its own motor, an audacity that is its own law, a spirit that is its own vindication. If you can admire a man who, no matter what mistakes he may have made in form, had never betrayed his essence, his self-esteem, understand Bjorn Faulkner, and if you do, you will understand the woman who was his priestess. Now, who is on trial here? Karen Andre? No. It is you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who are here on trial. It is your own souls that will be brought to light when your decision is rendered.
The district attorney may conclude the case.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for once I agree with the defense counsel. The two different types of humanity are opposed in this trial, and your verdict will have to depend on which side you choose to believe. Now, you are asked by the defense to take the side of a swindler, a gangster, against a man who is a model of social responsibility and a woman who is everything the ideal of womanhood has been for centuries. On the one side, you see a lifetime service, duty, selfishness. On the other, a steamroller of sensual indulgence and egoistic ambition. I agree with the defense that the decision on this case must be passed deep in your own souls. If you believe that man is placed on earth for a purpose higher than his own pleasure, if you believe that love is not confined to the bedroom but extends to your family and your fellow men, if you believe that selfless service to others is still the most sacred ideal a man can aspire to, you will believe that simple virtue is more powerful than arrogance, and that a man like Bjorn Faulkner could be changed and could be brought to bow. Did your decision tell us that none shall raise their heads too high in defiance of our common standards?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are now to determine whether Karen Andre is guilty or not guilty of the murder of Bjorn Faulkner. I ask you to consider your verdicts carefully. Please pass your ballots to the clerk.
I was called to examine the body of Bjorn Faulkner. I found the body mangled to an extreme degree.
Well, he was a bit tight. He wasn't very steady on his feet. Mr. Faulkner and the other gentleman had to help him.
She is hoisting a man's body up on the parapet. A man in evening clothes. Faulkner. He is unconscious. No resistance. She pushes him with all her